But, oh, hello. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books. We sometimes do some lifestyle and vlog content, alright? So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background while you make yourself a meal, clean your room, or do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Come on in, join the family. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. Tell me why I'm feeling a little bit sick. Tell me why. It's not acceptable. Brian was sick, I was okay. I mean, I wasn't okay, but like I wasn't that bad. And now today, my throat's hurting. Why is that happening? So if I'm at any point or I sound a bit weird, that is why. So I do apologise. Alright, I apologise in advance. Don't say it wrong yet. Okay. So what are we talking about today then? Bum bum bum. Yeah, look at me. Now I've worked out how to get it up on my Kindle. Little front cover. Bosh. Amazing. Anyway, so we are talking about CARAVAL. Yes, that's right. I decided, guess what guys? It was on sale. I know, 99p. And then this month, the second one came on sale, which is great. So fingers crossed for the third part next month. Woo! So yeah, I bought this for 99p. And honestly, well, I'm going to tell you, aren't I? I'm going to tell you what my opinions are about it. But, oh, hello. Oh, look, double whammy. What one's a bit like better? I think it's because I got night mode on. I think the cover's normally a bit darker, but that's right. Yeah, let's talk about CARAVAL. I think that's how you say it, CARAVAL? Let's do it. So this is by Miss Stephanie Garber. Bring on the trusty steed, all right? Bring it out. It's out. It's ready to go. I rated this book here a 5.5 out of 10. I know. It seems kind of low, but for a romance, I'd say that's pretty average, pretty decent. Yeah, 5.5, good vibes. That rhymes. 5.5, good vibes. Oh, look at that poet, isn't it? So yeah, it's about a 3-star, maybe just a bit below, but it's a good average read. In terms of chilies, I gave it half a chili. I mean, I don't think it was spicy at all, really. It's definitely more young adult, YA romance, but there was a lot of kissy in there, and there was a few like little mentions, so you know, there was a tiny bit, so I warn you about that. But yeah, it wasn't a spicy bit, but that was okay. I don't think it needed spice, you know. I quite liked it, how it was packaged, so it was doing good. It was doing good. If asked would I recommend this book, I would probably say, why not? I wouldn't say you have to read this, go and read this trilogy, but I would say if you're in the mood for it, why not? You know, give it a go. Give it a whirl. I thought it was good and I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely excited to read the other parts. I definitely think when you have multiple books in a series, obviously the world building is a lot bigger and better, so you definitely probably like it more as it goes along usually. So, you know, what we always say, the first book is the worst, so I feel like we've started not too bad for this book. So we'll see how it goes, all right? We'll see how it goes. Right. Everybody, buckle in, seatbelts on, it's time for the review. Disclaimer, there might be some spoilers in here, there might not. If you haven't read this book and you want to read this book, stop this video now, go read the book and then come back to it. If you don't want to read this book, you don't think you're ever going to read this book, you just want someone to just chat about it, keep watching. If you haven't read it yet and you want to listen to my thoughts first, fine, you know, you do you. But I can't promise what I will and won't say, okay? So check that. Obviously also check trigger warnings before you read any book. I think you should definitely check this book out first, just before you start. But we always say that we want safe and happy readers out there, so please make sure to do that as well. Whilst I'm giving out disclaimers, might as well give you all of them. Okay, yes, there was a few. Let's talk about the review, okay? I said, all in all, I enjoyed this book. It had some fun twists and turns. Some were expected, some weren't expected, or maybe they were kind of like a twist, but they weren't a real twist because it was kind of leading you astray here and there. And I thought she was quite clever how she'd weave that in the book. It was kind of all the premise of CARAVAL itself, you know, as it says, remember it's only a game, so it's distinguishing what's real, what's fake, all things like that. So I did really much enjoy that. My brain, you know, scratches an itch in that old noggin up there. So yeah, I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed most of it, to be honest with you. Spoiler. Yeah, there was definitely some good ups and downs in there. I also thought it ended in quite a good way. It made you want to read the second one, and as I said before, I did buy the second one on a Kindle sale this month, so that was great. That was fun times. I wonder if they're not going to put the third one. I think there's 4 actually, but I wonder if they're not going to put one on the sale just to make me buy it. Hopefully it goes on sale. Definitely gotta buy these books as you see them, folks. So for me, the thing I loved most about this book is I did really enjoy the world that Miss Stephanie over here, that she created. Do they have to be doing construction right now? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Yes, as I said, I really love world building. I love getting immersed into a world, into a, you know, its own realm. And I really enjoyed this here. However, the reason I did give this book a little bit lower is because I wanted more. I feel like we got drips and drabs, but there were some things where it's like all of a sudden, like 0 to 100, this is how we talk in this world, this is how we describe things, everything. But there was like no, you know, I say it just needed an extra 50 pages, a few build up here and there, tell me a bit more of the history. So I'm hoping that comes in the next books. I don't know if it does, but I hope it does. So yeah, that did make the score drop slightly, because although I really enjoyed the world she created through this book, I feel like I needed more. So sometimes she would get quite like metaphorical and whimsy with things, and I understood that that was the vibe of Caraval, but I feel like we needed more to connect with why that was the case. Do you know what I mean? Like why she was choosing those words to say. But it did make it feel like a little bit rushed sometimes. Like it made the plot feel like it was going quicker than it should have been going, if that makes sense. So honestly, yeah, just a few pages spread out here and there, adding a little bit more description, a little bit more depth to some of the things that were going on, and I feel like we definitely would have raised that up, probably even maybe to like, maybe by a whole point, 6.5 I reckon, maybe even 7. I feel like for me the world building is like super important, so I feel like that did make it lack a little bit, which is a shame. When you don't have all the facts, it makes it harder to fully immerse yourself in the world because you don't fully understand the world, so it creates a little bit of a reader disconnect with the book. So I feel like that was my main reason for knocking the score down. But on the whole, I did like the start we had. So I'm hoping, as I said before, it gets better throughout. And it was a shame, as I said, because I definitely feel like this is a universe you could get lost in. I feel like there's a lot of that concept throughout the book with the characters itself. And there were times that I did kind of feel that, like I was really pulled in, but then, you know, sometimes something would happen, it'd be a little bit rushed and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm reading a book. Do you know what I mean? So I think that I'm excited to see where this goes. I did like the twist at the end, which was good. It wasn't like, it's really weird. It wasn't like a shock plot twist. Oh my goodness. Like I didn't have that feeling. There was like a little feeling of relief. There was also a little feeling of like, oh, okay. But I did feel like it needed a little bit more depth. I don't know, maybe I haven't had a full time to fully collect my thoughts on this. So, you know, maybe I won't make perfect sense, but I definitely just felt like it just needed a little bit more. I feel like that's my main comment for this book. It just needed a little bit more. There were definitely a few drop moments. You know, I love those stomach drop moments. They weren't like, oh my goodness. It wasn't like that, but it was definitely like, oh no. Oh. Like I definitely had those moments, and that's like one of my favorite experiences when I'm reading. I'm reading another book at the moment, another fiction book, and the drops are happening left, right, center. Just saying. So, you know, when you compare it to that, this didn't happen very frequently, but it did have some good moments in there. I definitely saw it. The main character, Scarlett, she was a little bit annoying at times. I did actually read some of the reviews after that people had left on Goodreads, and they were like, oh, she was so annoying, blah, blah, blah. I don't think she was that bad, but I just don't think she was like the most connectable character, I'd say, because she was definitely a little bit whiny, but like fair enough. Do you know what I mean? She's kind of been put in this situation she didn't want to be in, but I do feel like sometimes it was like a bit too much, and it felt a bit more like for the convenience of the plot. So I was a bit like, oh, I would have liked a little bit more strength in her maybe, but she was strong and she was a legend and she was like a hero, all that. But I just feel like every now and then, like if she got a bit whiny, you're a bit like, oh, for God's sake, you know, shut up, Scarlett. So yeah, I don't know, it did make you a little bit disconnected from her, I would say. I actually thought the main male character, Julian, was really well written in this book. I thought he was written quite well. Ooh. Sometimes in books it can be like when we read Just for the Summer, he was like a little too perfect, or sometimes they're like a little bit too much of a dick. I feel like he had a good balance. He felt like somebody that could be real, if that makes sense, which was kind of like crazy when you've read the story, because it's like all the illusions and things like that. So I feel like she did a really good job at writing Julian as a character. I also feel like the growth of their story together was quite good. So even though she was a little bit whiny and annoying at some times, I feel like he kind of balanced that out, so it kind of worked out well, I think, from my opinion. There was kind of this bit at the end, which, yes, I guess is technically a plot spoiler, but they kind of have this like strangers moment, you know, she's like, it feels like a stranger to me. And I won't go into too much depth just in case you haven't read it. But if you do want more depth, let me know in the comments down below. I can do a more in-depth reviews. I'm happy to do that. I like that. But yeah, there's this whole bit at the end, you know, she's like, you're a stranger to me, blah, blah, blah. I feel like that lasted 5 seconds, and I feel like it could have gone on a little bit longer. So that also was something I wasn't too keen on. I felt like they needed to get to know each other again. I would have liked a little bit more time. That's why, honestly, my biggest criticism of this book is I just needed a bit more. That was it. You know, most people go, oh, this book's so long, can't be honest. Like, this book wasn't that long, and I feel like it definitely could have been, it could have had more and you wouldn't have felt it. So come on, Stephanie, get more of your writing out. That's what I want to see. I'm definitely excited to read the second one because it is the sister's story, and I feel like the sister has a lot more something about her. I think she will also be annoying because she'll be like too much the other end of the spectrum, where Scarlett's a little bit more sensible Susan. I feel like Teller's a little bit more wild Winona. I don't know what, making my own phrases here. Yeah, but I think that will make for a fun read, and the way she ended this book definitely is like a little bit of mystery about it, and I liked that, you know, the playing the games, the trying to figure things out, figure clues out. I love that. It was like all the things I love about a mystery, but in a romance form, and I really liked the kind of combination. The dad was such a dick in this book, like such a dick. I feel like he needed some more comeuppance at the end, to be honest. But overall, it was a decent, fun read. But as I said before, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, you have to read this, you must read this, this is the best book ever. I'd be like, if you're interested in it, why not? If you said to me, Alice, should I read Caraval? I'd be like, go for it, see if you like it. I enjoyed it, wasn't my favourite, but give it a go. I wouldn't be like, yes, absolutely, yes, 100%, 1000% yes. But it might change if I read the rest of the books and I like the series and I put it all together. You know, the first book is always crucial. So, you know, I'm happy to change my opinions. I might say I hate a book and then I might love it in years to come. Although that will never be said for normal people or Icebreaker. Sorry about that. Opinions aren't changing on that, okay? All in all, it was an enjoyable read. I read it really quickly. It was easily consumable. You could read it pretty much anywhere, anytime. You know, sometimes when books get a little bit spicy or a bit wild, like, you don't really want to be sat in a coffee shop reading that. That just feels a little bit wrong. There we go. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. We have got some lifestyle stuff coming soon as well. I've been working on it, trying to, you know, get a little bit more of a profesh edge. All right, that's what we're going for. What we're going for. This construction is so annoying. So annoying. What are you even working on? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. Yeah, yeah. Caraval, yeah, baby.